9 months old. That's how old Lamine Yamal was when Lionel Messi held him in his arms for a photograph. Nobody could have known what would happen next. 19 years later, those two would stand on the same pitch in a World Cup final with the whole world watching. One passing the torch, the other lifting the trophy. This is the story of how a kid from a small town outside Barcelona became a world champion before he turned 20. Lamine Yamal was born on July 13, 2007, in Esplugues de Llobregat, just outside Barcelona. From a very young age, it was clear he had something different: his close control, his confidence, the way he saw the game before it even happened. At just 7 years old, Barcelona scouts brought him into La Masia, the same academy that produced Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. Getting into La Masia is hard. Staying there is harder. Yamal didn't just stay, he kept climbing. Inside La Masia, Yamal grew faster than anyone expected. He was regularly training and playing against boys years older than him, and he still looked like the most talented player on the pitch. His dribbling became nearly impossible to defend. His vision let him find passes that grown professionals couldn't see. Coaches promoted him through the ranks faster than almost any player in the academy's history. Soon, one phrase started following him everywhere inside the club: "This kid is different." In April 2023, the impossible happened. At 15 years and 291 days old, Lamine Yamal made his first team debut for Barcelona against Real Betis. He became the youngest player ever to feature for Barcelona's senior side. Camp Nou watched a kid, still in high school, step onto the biggest stage in club football. He didn't look nervous. He attacked defenders twice his age. He demanded the ball like he belonged there. And in that one moment, the football world started paying attention. A year later, Yamal did something even bigger. At 16 years and 57 days old, he made his debut for the Spanish national team, coming off the bench in a Euro qualifier against Georgia. He became the youngest player in Spain's history to wear the shirt. Then came Euro 2024. Yamal didn't just play. He delivered 4 assists, a joint tournament record. And when Spain lifted the trophy, Yamal became the youngest player ever to win a major international title. He broke a record that had stood since 1958. The record had belonged to Pelé. But greatness is never a straight line. In April 2026, just months before the World Cup, disaster struck. Yamal suffered a grade 2 hamstring tear, scoring a penalty for Barcelona. The injury ended his domestic season early. Doctors weren't certain he'd recover in time. Fans weren't certain either. For the first time in his young career, Lamine Yamal wasn't the kid breaking records. He was the kid fighting just to be ready. So what actually makes Yamal different? First, his dribbling. He doesn't just beat defenders, he makes them look lost. Second, his football IQ. He knows exactly when to pass, when to shoot, when to slow the game down, at an age when most players are still figuring that out. Third, his confidence. 80,000 fans in the stadium, and he plays like he's been doing this his whole life. And finally, his creativity. He sees passes other players don't even imagine. That combination is rare. That combination is why people started comparing him to Messi before he was even 20. Yamal recovered in time. At 19 years old, Lamine Yamal has already done what most players never achieve in an entire career. Youngest Barcelona debutant, youngest player to win a major international trophy, world champion. And somewhere in Spain, there's a photograph, a baby held in Messi's arms. Nobody knew back then what that photo would come to mean. Now everyone does. The only question left is, how much higher can Lamine Yamal climb? Is Lamine Yamal already on track to become the greatest of his generation?